The 2022 NBA draft has concluded and it's official. Banchero went number 1, Chet Holmgren went number 2, and Jabari Smith Jr. went number 3. And most of these selections were pretty obvious, except let's talk about the people who were in the draft but did not end up getting drafted and who signed two-way contracts right after. And you guys are going to be shocked about a lot of these players I talk about. The real truth is that most players who put their names in the draft don't hear their name get called on draft night, but that doesn't mean a thing. A lot of the best players in the league haven't heard their names called up by the commissioner Adam Silver, such as Fred VanVleet, Alex Caruso, Seth Curry, etc. Just because you get drafted doesn't mean anything. In today's video, we're going to talk about the players who didn't get to hear their name called on draft night and who have already signed two-way contracts or have signed to play in the Summer League. Real quick, before we get on to the video, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the bell to stay tuned for more of these post-draft videos. And with all that being said, let's get into it. To start off, let's talk about Kenneth Lofton Jr. Now, if you don't know who Kenneth is, you guys must be under a rock, because in this year's previous college season, he absolutely put on a tear. Lofton is a 6'7", 270-pound forward who reminds me a lot of Charles Barkley and Shaq, but he averaged 16.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 2.8 assists per game playing for Louisiana Tech. And if you guys don't know about this man, he absolutely is a beast in the paint. You know, coming into the draft, people had speculations about his weight, but clearly in the clips you guys can see he has slimmed down and it's really improved his footwork. His footwork is levels beyond anybody in the draft. His hustle, he really gets the rebounds and, you know, puts it all on the glass. Now, Kenneth isn't only a post player who defends as well. Kenneth can also stretch out to the three-point line and has showed it in multiple workouts with the Lakers, the Grizzlies, and all of these other teams he worked out for. Kenneth has signed a two-way contract to play for the Memphis Grizzlies and will end up playing in this year's Summer League, and I can't wait to see him play. The 6'7" big man has unbelievable hops for his size and has really showed his dominance in the paint. Many people expected Kenneth to go in the second round, but many expected him to go undrafted at all, and that's what ended up happening. He didn't get his name called, but he did end up signing a two-way contract to play for the Memphis Grizzlies, and they were one of the teams he actually did work out for, so it worked out in his favor. I just can't wait to see how Kenneth's game translates into the NBA. I really believe with his size and height, obviously he's not the tallest player, but he reminds me of like a Charles Barkley, you know, being 6'7", having a little bit of a chunkier frame, but he can still get it done on the offensive end and even defense. Another thing that's very underlooked in Kenneth's game is his passing ability. In this year's college season, he's had some unbelievable no-look passes, so I just can't wait to see him. I can kind of see him like a Draymond type of player, but that can also be in the paint more and get you those rebounds. Next, let's talk about Shareef O'Neal. Now, Shareef obviously is known for being Shaq's son, but he does have a basketball career of his own and has recently signed to play in the Summer League for the LA Lakers, which obviously is his dad's former team. Shareef didn't really have much of a college career. He did play 3 years, but he did have to undergo open heart surgery. But in his 2021-22 season, he played 14 games and only averaged 2.9 points, 2.1 rebounds, and 0.1 assists per game. There's not really much film other than his high school highlights, but a team took a chance on him. Obviously, his dad might have had some influence in this, but you can't knock the kid, man. He's been through a lot, but there's just not much footage. He really is a raw prospect, but being at a staggering 6'10", 225, he does have a little bit of a slider for him, but in the G League showcase, he did drop a double-double and did show scouts that he can be, something reminiscent of his dad. Obviously not to that extent, but Shareef has shown his excellent finishing ability around the rim and his rebounding ability, so let's see what he does in the Summer League. Let's see if he can get a two-way contract or even play on their G League team. I really don't know much about Shareef. I've seen him in high school. He is nice, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Next up on the list is Scottie Pippen Jr. the son of Scottie Pippen, obviously an NBA legend. Scottie Pippen Jr. ended up signing a two-way contract just like Shareef O'Neal to play for the LA Lakers. And again, Scottie Pippen is one of those players where people honestly didn't think he was going to get drafted, but in his 2021-22 season, he played for the Vanderbilt Comraders and averaged 20.4 points, which was 14th in his conference, 3.6 rebounds per game, and 4.5 assists per game while shooting 41.6% from the field. For being only 6'1" and 180 pounds, obviously that makes him a disadvantage and an undersized guard at the NBA level, but in college he did show that he could be an aggressive scoring guard whose quickness and shot making ability made him one of the most prolific scorers in the country over his last 2 seasons at Vanderbilt. Obviously there is a lot of room for him to improve. Again, his size is not the best, but he has good length for his height and he is athletic. He's shown he could do some windmill dunks and just make plays just based off his athleticism, which you definitely need if you're going to be only 6'1" in the NBA. The Lakers have given Shareef O'Neal and Scottie Pippen Jr. two-way contracts, so I can't wait to watch the Summer League this year and see how well they perform. But next on, the Toronto Raptors have signed undrafted guard Ron Harper Jr. to a two-way deal. He is the son of 5-time NBA champion Ron Harper, so again, a lot of these players who went undrafted and have signed these two-way contracts have the NBA blood in their bloodline. Harper, who is only 22, played 4 seasons for the Rutgers, averaging 15.8 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 1.9 assists per game. He was named to the second team All Big Ten, and he did receive many awards. The scouting report shows that Harper is good both with and without the ball in his hands offensively. He shoots the ball really well, especially from the 3, but his numbers don't really give him a lot of credit for him. He's a great scorer and was the go-to guy for the Rutgers. He was also extremely active on the glass, averaging 5.9 rebounds per game, which ranked him second on his team. He did have a lot of success in the post where he just took advantage of the smaller matchups. Now, a lot of things that scouts are knocking him for is his body weight. People want to see him get in better shape, which I don't think it's going to be a big problem. Again, he is only 6'5", so his size doesn't really help. But let's see how he does in the Summer League and how the Raptors can develop him. If I missed any players who you guys think went undrafted and deserves to be on this list, let me know in the comment section. Obviously, there were many players who signed two-way deals who don't have as many or followers or aren't big names like these players I named. So let me know in the comment section if I missed anyone. And with all that being said, subscribe, hit the like button, and let me know in the comment section future video ideas, and I'll definitely be happy to make them. And I'm out. Peace.